Hey guys, welcome back to the video. Today we're going to be working on is putting the HELLCAT engine in the 300. And what we're going to do next is take the wheels off and drop the subframe down, bring it down to the ground, disconnect the brakes, all that fun stuff. And then we're going to just leave it on the floor. Then we're going to get the HELLCAT engine over here and mount that on, and then lower the car back over it and put it in the car. Giving no obstacles, right, Keith?
I think that was a perfect description. I think it should go exactly as you just said it.
Without taking 5 hours this time. So, but today is the day I've been waiting for, just put this thing in the car. Because I get a lot of floor space back here. I couldn't walk through it at all, so.
And it's a beautiful day. We have the garage door open finally.
That's right. Yeah. So we're going to get into that now. We're going to just, like I said, drop it down and I'll update you guys in a couple minutes. The steering shaft. Here we go. It's a 13 millimeter.
Like everything you said?
Like everything. All right, let's see. Let's see if that's it. Now I think it's loose enough so when we drop the
when the rack comes out, it'll slide.
When the rack comes out, it'll slide off. I mean, I'm sure you don't got a fucking. You don't take it the whole entire way. I don't think.
Nah.
So now let it dry a little bit, and then we're going to put it in the garage, put it up in the air, and just lower the frame down from the bottom. With the wheels on, of course, right, Keith?
Why not? Then we can roll it around.
That's right. We just put the motor on the subframe, ride the motor around.
Oh, there you go. Put a stool up to it.
All right, so that's what we're going to do next. We'll just go from there.
All right, Richie, what we got going on now?
What we're doing now is taking this carpet down to try and install the HELLCAT fuel line that goes from the tank to the fuel rail. So we're going to drop this carpet down out of the way. We got all the bolts and things off, so we're just going to drop this down and see to get to over here where the fuel line is and try changing the fuel line to go from here to the fuel rail. So that's what we're working on now.
And there's another, what's that, another connection back here, right?
No, it's just up there.
Just right there, that's one spot.
Yeah, that one spot. So then what we're gonna do is try and install the fuel rail. I have a feeling I might need to get a different connector. I don't think that one's big enough.
Yeah, it definitely looks a little tinier than what we got, but see what's going on.
Geez. All right, well, we're gonna give it a shot anyway. If anything, we'll get the old one removed.
Okay.
So let's go from there.
All right. What is the problem, Rich?
Well, the problem is, for some reason, these bigger engines have bigger fuel lines. And if you see the difference here, let's say this is the factory V6, and that's the HELLCAT feed line. And then we tried to put it under the car over here, and we're gonna wind up having to drop the tank to change this fuel feed line here because it's the diameter's the V6 diameter. So we drop the tank down and order this part and swap it out, and then put the fuel line in.
So we won't get to hear this thing run today.
There's no way. Well, we can get it in the engine bay more than likely. If that would behoove us to do that or not, I'm not sure. But, I mean, it may be harder to put the fuel line in with the engine away. So, but we'll give it a shot, see how it looks, But all these unforeseen things are like, they come to bite you, know? So
that's what happens when you try to do something stupid like this.
So what we're gonna do now is drop the fuel tank and see what fuel line I have to order to make this work. Because I have to get one for this end. I have to get the other one that goes from the fuel line to the fuel rail on the engine over there. I have to order that one too. It's just non-stop ordering parts. This is why it would be better to have a whole entire parts car here if you can afford to do so.
Yeah. Well, let's try to get the new one mounted. I think it'll get mounted for the most part, except for that one clip up front.
Yeah, we could try it.
But at least that way, to your point, at least if the engine's in, we get the engine in, it'll be pretty much
there.
most of the way
Right.
there,
Well, we gotta drop the tank either way to get this down too.
Yeah.
know.
So we'll do both of those things.
Hopefully, there's not a ton of gas in here.
Yep. All right. Well, let's do that, and
We'll check back in.
yeah, sounds good.
All right, let's do it. All right, guys, got an update here for you. We're in the process now of loosening the struts. Then we're gonna pop these things out for the upper control arms. We suspended the brake calipers in the wheel well here. What we're getting into now is just, trying to get the frame to drop out. We loosened the bolt for the power steering and, just little stuff, right, Keith?
Little stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing's gone exactly the way we
No.
had hoped. As every video I think we've done. So
Oh yeah,
far.
of course. But like I said, we learn as we go, so we're getting there. All right, guys, we're back. We're having an absolute blast. This is really fucking hard. So what we see here is that we got the engine up on the hoist. Our plan now is to slide the rack underneath onto here and mount the engine on that and let it sit there and then repick the engine from the top of the car and bolt it into place. So
yeah, we're just gonna put it on, once we get it bolted to the rack, we're gonna put it on jack stands on the rack so we can reposition the hoist.
right, that's next.
Yeah.
And we're having a great time here.
Well, we gotta get it done.
That's it. So, all right. So we're gonna check back in with you guys. So once we get this thing back under here, I'll show you how it all
I'd love to
looks.
sit around and chit chat with these guys all day, but it ain't gonna get done any other way.
Someone's got to do it. So here we go. All right, guys, we're back. And as you can see, we've mounted the engine to the cradle. One bolt there, same thing on the other side. Oil pan fit right in the hole. Everything's looking good. What we're gonna aim to do now is lower the car down. Lower the whole body down on top of the motor. And we'll see if it lines up or not. I mean, it's probably gonna take some finagling.
Yeah, I think as long as we can get the hoist back over top and lift it back up, we'll be able to move it
Right.
where we need it to be.
Yep. So this is it. We're gonna go up with it. I mean, we're gonna bring the car down, and it would be nice if everything fell into place, which I doubt's gonna happen. But that's why we got the hoist here to go pick it from the top and line up the holes and just bolt them back in. And we're gonna go from there. So, what do you think, Keith? You excited?
I'm excited, man.
I'm ready to have some lunch.
Yeah. Well,
So.
we'll get this done and then maybe.
We'll see what happens. All right, guys. We'll get back to you. Keith, let's get a Hellcat motor in there, doesn't it? So what you're saying is that there's a Hellcat engine in the 300 is what you're saying.
There's a Hellcat.
Yeah, I think I see that myself. Yep. Yep. Gotta hook up the steering shaft.
Yeah, I tried it.
Yeah, we'll slide that in. That'll be next. Right now, what we're gonna do is bolt up this tranny. These bolts here. I gotta take this old tail shaft off first, Keith.
Okay.
So, wanna hold this camera for a second?
I don't want to get the struts into.
Here, we'll get the shocks in. These are all gonna go on the regular V6s. The tranny bolted to these two. On the V8s, it bolted to these two.
It's like they made it to go in there.
It's like it's supposed to be there, I think. But I gotta take this old tail shaft off.
We're gonna need a jack, lower it.
We're gonna lower it and jack that up with the bolts in, because I'm not. I don't know anybody lifting that thing.
No.
So that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna take this old tail shaft off, and then oh, it is 6 bolt. I thought it was 8. Huh, that's strange. All right, guess you're all 6.
So just these two,
Those two.
two down, right?
Yep, this one here and that one there. Same thing on the other side.
I mean, they're already threaded. It was supposed to be there.
It was supposed to be there. Yep. So, all right, guys, we'll get right back to you. All right, guys, there it is. Got the calipers and rotors mocked up. Got to find a set of wheels. Got the engine and tranny in the car. Everything's bolted in. And then, you know, everything's bolted. Now it's a matter of doing a lot of wiring, like the whole wiring harness in the car and this and that. Also, next week I'm going to try to do a power steering delete, because I'm going to use the electric power steering that came with the car. But for the most part, you know, everything went together smoothly. I think, like Keith said, it was easier than taking the V6 out of the car. You know? So. But everything's in the car now, and I think next week we're going to work on the power steering delete, get a new belt, and just a lot of odds and ends, like, you know, mounting up like the coolant reservoir and, you know, stuff like that.
Gotta get the wiring harness done.
Gotta get the wiring harness in the car, which luckily we still have a lot of room for. You know, I can still fit my hands back there.
Gotta get the rest of the fuel line parts.
Yep, gotta get a whole different fuel pump, fuel line, all that stuff. And then, like I said, you know, there's not much left to do. You know, hopefully, you know, I get the parts I need relatively soon and just try and get it running.
Yeah, we'll you know, clean it up the rest of the way as we get going, but hopefully hear this thing start pretty soon.
I mean, it's in there. I'll even show you the bottom of the car really quick. Jack it up and show you the transmission. We just mocked up the Brembos for now to get an idea what they would look like on the car. But some massive brakes, aren't they?
Huge, huge.
So this is gonna be a fun car. Once we get everything squared away, the wiring done, get an interior harness, gotta get a different fuel pump again, and I got the fuel line right there in the car. That's gotta get put on. Just small things now, little small things that are gonna take most of the time. Yep, the whole tranny's in. Everything's in the car, guys. Everything's in. And it bolted right in, because even on the V6, you would have used these 2 holes. And seeing as how it's a V8, the hole was there. I just used these two holes for the transmission for the Hellcat. And I mean, that's it, really. I mean, I'm anxious to see if the Hellcat drive shaft is going to fit.
Yeah, it should.
But, what do you think, Keith?
I think it'll be pretty close.
Yeah, so. But all right, guys, that's going to be it till next time. You know, share with your friends, show them a Hellcat with, you know, a 300 with a Hellcat in it. And, you know, that's it. We'll catch you guys next week.